right, everyone, we are back for yet another episode of The Lituation. Is it a conversation? Is it a situation? We don't know, but by the end of the show, you will have had something that you've learned and to add to your repertoire. So this episode is about one of my most favorite times of the year.
It's my favorite.
It's definitely Candy's favorite. It's the homecoming.
Homecoming!
We're coming home again. Y'all talk to me when you think about...
I'm coming home.
Okay, no.
Oh, I just in case you don't. Just act like you didn't hear it. Listen, we heard Brendan, homecoming. It inspired you to a song, man. What does homecoming mean for you, bro?
Yo, so I'm gonna be real, and I might lose some points right now, but I've never been to a HBCU homecoming.
Me either, so.
All right, well that's it for this episode.
No, you know what? And it's not the same experience if you didn't go to school there.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad.
Yeah.
I hope that you get to experience it.
I
Not
will.
with me, because I don't take extra people to
Homecoming is
Because
special.
homecoming is so special, and
went from
I don't have
co-host
time.
To teach you all the homecoming.
I went from co-host to extra in like.
Not true.
We're gonna bring you on back to the episode, but first, Candy, tell us about
School us, since we're not at homecoming.
Right.
You
School
get
us.
the most homecomings.
I'm sure that I have. Why are you trying to be smart?
I was at HBCU. I am smart.
Okay, come on.
Listen, homecoming is all about the camaraderie of the people that you may have been in school with, younger than you, older than you, just the love. You talk about that tribe, the network, people that you may have met the first time. You could just walk by an RV and they'd be like, oh, you want some fish? You went to Tuskegee, come and get some fish. I mean, it's the love. You just
They clean
meet
their
people
fish?
you have. What'd you say,
The
communion
fish are
fish?
clean. Listen,
Boy, they have our 5 loaves.
right, 2 little fish. No, and what you're talking about is really like a family feel, right?
Right.
If
Yeah,
you're a
it
freshman
definitely is.
going to the first time of your homecoming, it's literally like being at a family reunion. Everyone is like connected because you have a common trait. You all share this like commitment to attend or participate in school, this educational experience, and then you like see so many people from like decades ago, and like you get to become instantly a part of history. That was the important thing for me.
Yeah, and that was one thing that I did not do as a freshman, was make an effort to meet alumni as they came back. And they're so excited to be back home, and they would love to meet you. You never know who you're going to meet. People in your major, people in other majors, people that you can connect with in cities that you want to be in. It's just amazing. It's an amazing feeling, and you have to put yourself out there. That's
Right.
one of those times you really have to put yourself out there so that you can network, you can get to know people, and then parties on top of parties on top of parties.
It's
And there's like, homecoming is like a family reunion in that, particularly for HBCU. So I have the PWI experience,
We don't miss that.
but I have the HBCU, I have both. And attending the homecomings, there's this like when you go to a family reunion, there's some unspoken traditions
True.
that happen that when you experience, even if you went to a PWI, you like fall into it and you fall in love with the culture, the class, the fashion.
Yes.
And those traditions that happen, like the fish fries and
the barbecues and the
It's
turkey
just,
legs.
yeah, it's just all
and
about the
marching
camaraderie.
band.
the marching band.
it's-
The marching band at a HBCU is not the same at homecoming as a PWI. I have to say, it got
It's never the same.
it has some stank on it or not.
It's not the same.
Homecoming, but even when you talk about that, it's creating these memorable experiences. Even, to the point like Beyonce didn't go to college, but like she has an entire show about homecoming and that experience.
At TSU, like when she was a kid, like
Yeah, she would go visit.
experiencing
And
it.
so y'all
Tennessee,
like,
not
like,
Tennessee State, Texas Southern.
Right, Texas.
Okay, get it right.
Get it right.
So it's okay. We'll maybe take y'all to the next one. Y'all could be cousins, right? Like y'all are alumni.
Okay, well, I
but
got a
y'all-
question.
Y'all are cousins. What's up?
I have a question. So for our HBCU goers, I'm curious to know, what are some things that you feel like are, how do I say this? What are some things that the PWI campus, at least the black students on the PWI campus, can borrow, rent, or steal to make our
Don't appropriate.
Don't say steal, first of all.
Don't appropriate.
I think you actually recognize it in connecting with like the organizations that connect with you, and that's what we're talking about, whether it's a school, university organization, or like the organization on campus where you had the Black Culture Studies. Like I think that's a way to connect, and that's what we're talking about: being connected, being with people who have some of the same traits and backgrounds and alignment that you have. That's really important. Which even goes to our next subject, topic for this is like meeting alumni is an important thing that you want to do for those future opportunities of internships. But I mean, what could you imagine some important reasons for meeting alumni, even after school and graduating?
Well, yeah, you know what? I actually had a dope experience. So I'm a part of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and I met an alumni who was actually a member of SG-Row. She's SG-Row. And she was an alumni of North Illinois University, Congresswoman Robin Kelly, and she came out of my program. So I met her and connected with her and was able to do an internship with the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, and I worked in her office for an entire summer. So I think like networking, I don't know if you all are familiar with how Issa Rae says like network up, network down, and network across. And I would, put that out there. And also network outside of your circle, right? Network outside of your organization, because you never know, like, what someone may have, even if they not in the BSU, if they not a Delta, if they not in the SGA.
Right.
So that's what I would say.
So basically, when you go to homecoming, you need a party with a purpose.
Party with a
Absolutely. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
That's a good way
If
of
you think
putting
about it, even if you're anxious or nervous about meeting people, right? Like you don't know how to have icebreakers. The easy thing to say is, "Hey, I'm here. Thank you for coming to homecoming," and start that conversation, spark that conversation. Because I know it can be challenging. It could be intimidating when you got homecoming and like, oh my God, there's a lot going on. But like forming those connections, I literally have relationships that I've formed starting in college that they may not have looked like they were going to do a particular thing at one time, but 15 years, 20 years, maybe 30 years later, you may be in a position where they may remember you and what you were doing. That's the important thing about being memorable at a homecoming experience like that.
But
And to answer your question, Mickey, we don't know what y'all don't know. So it's hard to answer that question, but as long as you make it effective, and you think about when you go home, when you went out to school and you went home for the holidays, how did you feel when you got home?
Right.
I mean, it was like, I'm home, kick my feet up. I got, food. I can call my old friends, my mom, my dad, whomever. That same feeling is how you feel at homecoming. And so you have to make it your own on your campus. And it sounds like you guys did that.
What is the HBCU?
Sorry, Brendan. I'm going to take you to homecoming.
No, but that's real talk. So I went to predominantly white institutions, and I went to Ivy League institutions. So there wasn't a lot of people that looked like me, period. But when I had my first HBCU homecoming experience, it was the Black excellence for me. It was being exposed to people who looked like me, who broke so many barriers, who had just such an impact in the world, not in just what they were doing professionally or vocationally, but communally.
Right.
And I think that's the power right there. So how do we cultivate homecoming, not just one time a year, but
all the time.
All the time, right? Like how are you cultivating that family and that excellence?
Are you all familiar with Mizzou? They're in Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah.
So my partner, he graduated from Mizzou, and we went to his homecoming the first year we were dating, y'all. And Mizzou is a predominantly white institution, but when I tell y'all, we went to that homecoming,
It was lit.
and I was like, this is lit. Like, when I say the Black students, they brought out their tents, they had their families out, they set up at that Black Cultural Center, and I was like, oh, I'm bringing my whole family next year. Like, and so I think it can be replicated.
And I think that's one of the things that is is a clear difference in like homecoming up north versus it is down south. And so most of my college experiences were up north, and like homecoming was more like,
it's not the same.
And I hear some similarities, right? Like I hear like there's a level of party, there's a level of fun, but consistently making a connection with someone based on something you share, which is sometimes a school history or maybe something in your organization. I know a couple of you all